wait till all these sites connect, and then we'll be 100% live.
Now's the time to say all the things that we want no one to hear, like our deepest secrets.
Yeah.
Say that. I know a lot of your deepest secrets.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I want you to
Give me
hear them.
permission.
Oh, no. All right, cool. I think we're good to go. Let me hit this up. All right, we're live. People can see us. Hey, what's up? How have you all been?
Exhausted.
Yeah.
Surviving.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully things will get better now that we can start playing Cyberpunk Red, the official Red, since we were given the core rules by our Talsorian Games. Like, we get to do this shit.
Yeah.
Very cool. So yeah, anybody tuning in case you were wondering, yeah, we're running official Cyberpunk Red rules. That's why above me it says official Red rules. And it's because we were given an advanced copy of Cyberpunk Red, and we're allowed to stream the games live. So I don't know if you tuned in yesterday. I was doing session 0, the Lifepath for Team Nameless, and now tonight we're gonna do Team Spicy.
Wait a minute. Their name is Team Nameless?
Team Nameless, NMLS.
I've been thinking.
I thought they had the coolest name. I thought their name was Animals.
Same.
We all did.
That's funny. Yeah, the N kind of looks like it could be an A. Is that what you thought? Or,
Well, it's like
just
animals.
animals.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Like animals, yeah.
No, it's Nameless. Team Nameless. But yeah, let's get to Team Spicy. Let's see what's up. We've got Heather, who previously, we were running our 2020 Red Hybrid game, and Heather, you were playing Stitch, and now this time you're playing Eddie, who's a rocker. And then we have Alex, who previously in that hybrid game on Team 2 that we were doing, you were playing a rocker in that game. Now you're playing Valentine, who is a corp, an exec, to be specific, an exec. And then we've got Mickey, who in the previous game, that hybrid one, you were playing One Up, the solo, who was also a streaming gamer, which was fun. And now in this game, you're playing a solo called Viking with a capital K. So we'll get to that too. But yeah, let's dive into it. I mean, before we go on, like I said, we're full on using Red rules. I'm gonna use all the rules out of the core book that we were given, and the only time I'm gonna homebrew is if there's something missing that we absolutely have to, or if I have to pull something from 2020, at least until the full Red comes out and we see what everything is, because obviously we know out of that core rule book it mentions some things that aren't there, so there's definitely some expansions and some cool shit to come. But anytime I drop in homebrew or something like that, I'll mention it, and that way anybody viewing can kind of differentiate the official Red rules versus shit that I'm going to drop in just to fill some gaps. But I don't think I'm going to have to. I mean, going by that book, it has fucking, I think, everything that we're going to need. There's just some weapon stuff, there's just some expansion stuff that we can get into or whatever, but man, it is thick and I love it. I feel like they simplified some rules and streamlined stuff, and then in other cases they expanded on shit that is fucking awesome and was needed. It's very cool. What do you guys think?
Really cool. The way I've been describing it is it's like they gave Cyberpunk the 5e treatment compared to like D&D,
Yeah. Exactly. It's like streamlined, but then expanded and stuff. Like, I love what they did with the life path, and the individual roles have their own things going on. And like, I don't know, it's just so cool. And then the net running, they like streamline that so it's, understandable and it doesn't take you out of the game and away from all the other players. They just did something real cool with that. But then, man, they expanded on that with the programs and everything. It's just so cool. I'm so excited about everything. But yeah, let's get into our session 0, the life path of this. Like I said, we're going to be diving in next week to session 1, and we're just going to jump right into Red. There's no more honeymoon period. We're going to get right into, what is it, 2045-ish, and it's been long enough after the nuclear fallout and fourth corporate war. The skies are still red. The city's still nasty, but shit is being rebuilt. There's a lot of neocorps and a lot of life rebirthed into the city, and it's exciting, but it's fucking more dangerous than ever before, and it's just dingy, and it's going to be cool. So we're going to dive in, but yeah, let's go here. Heather, do you want to start us off here and do
Sure.
Eddie? Yeah, tell us about Eddie. Why don't you start with, you know, the role and his name and his look, and then maybe, you know, go down the whole life path stuff and tell us about him.
Eddie's gonna be my first rocker boy, so you know, hang with me there. Trying out a new role. So Eddie is a rocker boy, and he's definitely like your typical face character. Like, you know, he can talk the talk, but I also wanted him to be able to walk the walk. So I tried to make it so he's a little bit more of a bruiser, at least for a face character. Like, he's not a solo, but he can throw a few punches and take a few.
Nice. As a
But,
rocker, as I feel a rocker should, you know?
Yeah, like I thought so too. I based him very heavily. Like he's a bit of a self-insert character, but for the most part, I based him off of a lot of the crusty punks that I knew back in like high school and in college, where I grew up in a pretty well-off area. So it was pretty funny to me to like see a lot of those crusty punks that were from really rich families, but were like constantly dressing like they rolled out of a dumpster and like, you know, acting like they hate the establishment and everything like that. So I kind of based Eddie off of that. He is actually from a family, a really well-off family. His parents were corporate technicians, and he actually grew up in a corporate skyscraper. So pretty much in the lap of luxury. Like he didn't see a whole lot of like the combat zone until he was like in his teens and stuff like that. And he was sort of like the problem child. He had a lot of energy, and with his parents being in the corporation, they constantly had their business going, so they didn't have time for that. So like, I'm just gonna put you in like a karate class so you can get your energy out and like stay out of our hair. And he never really had a great like relationship with his family, so he started to build resentment and like sort of associate it with the corporations. Like, my family is too busy like being a business family to like care about me, and like there was sort of a rift there, so he sort of associated corporation and authority with like bad shit from an early age. And he started running with some crowds in the underground rock scene and everything like that, and that's how he started building a name for himself, which his stage name actually became his handle, which is Eddie Brass. He's sort of like a Silverhand wannabe. He has a super chrome cyber arm. So he's a Silverhand wannabe, just on a lesser scale, because he's basically a crust punk as opposed to the godly Johnny Silverhand.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's he really doesn't have like any relationships actually. Like, in all the roles that I made for him, he got 0 as far as friends, enemies, lovers, all of that. And his family actually split apart due to like misfortune, so they're just scattered to the wind. He doesn't have any relationships anymore, so he's just sort of rolling around in the dirt out there, just getting into trouble.
Nice. Well, what about
that's pretty much it.
What about his music career? You know, what about music? What's his plans?
Yeah.
And what does he do? Bandmates and all that good stuff.
Yeah, he does have a group. I haven't figured out the name quite yet. I'm open to suggestion. But they do like perform in like CD dive bars, like think like your local Merc bars and stuff like that. And the only enemy that he actually does have is actually more geared towards his music group, which is actually a media with a personal vendetta against them.
Nice. Okay, so like bad press and shit like that, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
which
it.
makes sense for him.
Yeah,
because
and
he's.
Let me interject real quick. Anybody watching the live stream, and I've got the chat open, so if you think of cool band names for Eddie Brass and his band, type it in there. Describe the style of music again and the whole thing.
So very like think like crusty punk, like, or I don't know, anything in the punk genre. I'm pretty open to suggestion there, because I generally like whatever punk music gets thrown at me anyways.
Nice. Okay.
I got one.
Anti-establishment.
Oh yeah, and Valerie Mulligan, who you guys know was playing Raven in the hybrid one, and then now is playing Raven's daughter, who took the handle Raven out of respect since she passed away, is watching. She's in the chat. She says, "Hey, what's up, Heather, Mickey, and Alex?"
All right, I got a band name suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are called the Hardcore Belly Flops.
No.
I like it.
You're always trying to stage dive. No one catches
Alex,
you.
don't encourage him.
Yeah, let's see. Since Val's in the chat, maybe Raven has an idea or some punk rock band names or something. We'll
No,
see.
the dive
Yeah.
fails-
And it looks like we
dive
got a
fails
couple
are
other
the
people
same.
watching too. We'll see if we get any suggestions. What were you saying, Alex?
The dive fails. That's Zen's bag.
Nice.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
No, I
but
love it.
other than that, yeah, not a whole lot. He's just a talker. He's not very smart, but he's good at talking.
Nice. Hell yeah. No, I love it. I think that's cool, and I love the fact he's kind of like got that spoiled rich boy, crusty punk thing going on. You know, when I was living in Florida, downtown in Orlando, Florida, there's this little section of street in downtown called Wall Street, and it was literally Wall Street. But there was all these guys and girls that would hang out there called the gutter punks, and it was the same type of fucking thing, you know, from like the Disney World area, you know what I mean? And like none of them were that hard up. One friend of mine in particular I went to high school with, and she was like, you know, well off. Her dad was a doctor. They had a huge mansion in a private neighborhood, but she would be down there, you know, with the gutter punks and just fucking up and just being crazy and like. But I know the style. That's so funny. There is that style out there, and like, you know, I can see Eddie like that. That's cool. I like that you work that in, especially in the cyberpunk world. You know, like it makes a lot of sense. You know,
All the corporation stuff going on too. Like they were a big part of it, so it makes sense that there would be that.
He's the rebellion against it. You know, he was born in it and stuff, and you know, he's doing different than he was raised around. You know, he hates it and shit or whatever. You know. All right, cool. Let's see. Alex, why don't you tell us about Valentine? Or is it Valentine? Okay. How are you pronouncing him?
I was saying Valentine.
Okay, Valentine. And I saw you also wrote Val, so I imagine, like, you know, he goes by Val.
Big Val.
Somewhere in there I did put Val. That was just for shorthand because I was in a hurry. Okay. And, you know, as soon as I wrote that, I was like, I hope our team never meets Raven, because out of character, we're going to get that confused between Val and Val.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I think Raven's real name is Morgan something, or it's something else. I can't remember what it was. She had it written down. I don't.
Well, my player's not going to be confused. I personally.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, definitely.
I'm going to be confused.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and also I see we got some new people in the chat. And what's up? I see you watching, and Doran, Canal. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that. Brass, let us know in the chat. Yeah, and he says one too many vowels. But yeah, tell us about.
So, the thing about my character is that I don't have a solid idea of how it's going to turn out. I have two ideas that I'm going to kind of bounce off of you guys.
Yeah.
I'll start with the boring one. He's a Western European transplant from Scotland. From Czechoslovakia, but he does have Scottish heritage as well. He's arrogant, he's proud, he's aloof. On the clock, he wears business chic, urban flash on the street. He's got neat short hair, he's always wearing fingerless gloves. His primary motivation is love, which I thought was interesting. I didn't think they'd have that on the roll sheet. His goals are to get married and have 2 kids, 2.5 kids, you know, standard nuclear family.
Yeah.
And also to murder his former boss. More on that later.
Okay.
He's got 2 friends. One is a former lover. That's going to be a consistent theme in this character, no matter which version I go with. His other friend is his current boss. He's cool, and he watches Valentine's back. Like they're buds. Do what they can for each other. His enemy is his former boss, who lost face because of Valentine. It's probably for, you know, embezzling, or maybe he botched a job, tried to cover it up, and Valentine ratted him out to, take him down a peg and bring himself up in the company. The problem with that is that we're absolute deathly enemies, and the former boss, commands an entire agency to bring down on Valentine. So
Okay.
I'm a little worried about that. So now we get to the romance block. This, when you get to your losses, I think it used to be big wins, big losses, and now it's just straight losses.
Uh-huh.
I think it's titled tragedies actually now.
Right.
You roll a d10 and subtract 7, I think. I rolled a 10. So I got the maximum number. And this is what I rolled. I did not make this up. This is just how it turned out. Number 1, a lover was killed in a fight. Number 2, a lover was kidnapped. You want to take a guess at what number 3 was?
A lover was exiled.
Some type of death.
Exactly. So since he got a reputation after going through so many women. He got a reputation as being kind of a lady killer, and since all of his romances ended in tragedy, he kind of got the nickname from his enemies and people who don't like him, Valentine.
Oh, okay. Nice. I like that.
As far as his personality, he wants to believe that people are good, but he's constantly being proven wrong. And if you cross him, he will destroy you. Just trying to see what else I've got here. Both of his parents vanished without a trace. I'm assuming they either got taken out by a rival corporation, or maybe they defaulted on debts to their own corporation. Either way, the corporation that Valentine works for took him in as a small child as an investment, or maybe to pay off the debts. They figure, he can work it off for his parents, and they basically brainwashed him and turned him into a totally loyal tool to serve their ends.
Wow.
That's all I got.
Nice. So when it comes to that corporation, is that one of those sell your soul to a corporation for extra money sort of things, or is this just some type of cool background? Got taken in by a kid and raised in this corporation because of his family not being there.
It was just a cool background. I figured it would be. I know I've seen a movie where this happened, but basically, he gets taken into the program. He gets housed in foster care, and he's sent to a private corporation school, and he lives in corporate housing when he's like a teenager or whatever. He goes, takes his exams, he gets like the best education, and when he's an adult, the corporation life is all he knows. So like, he goes to work, he clocks in. On his breaks, he goes to the on-site gym, he works out, he comes back after his break, clocks in again. He goes home to his corporate housing, hits the gym again, and then he goes to sleep. Wakes up, does the same thing again.
Oh, I think the video's just shifted there. Hold on, I gotta fix things.
I don't know what just happened.
I'm not sure. We can't see you now. Let me
There we go.
Whoop. Let me get you back.
I don't know what happened. Discord just booted me for a second.
There you are.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Yeah, no, I know the type you're talking about. So that's really cool. We'll say, obviously something happened to your family to the point, and obviously you don't know, you were so young, and then you're taken in by this corporation and raised to kind of be their, worker drone or whatever, like their prodigal child or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, like, you're molded in the company form to just work and, raised in it, so you love it, and that's all for the most part, is that corporation, and you're brainwashed into it. I like that. I think that's cool, and that puts you with like a good loyalty to the as a corporation and stuff. And it'll add some mystery too, because you don't know what happened to your family, and it'd be great to know one day, and
if it was another corporation, then maybe somewhere along the campaign I could find that out, or it could even be the corporation that I work for, and then I try to take it down from inside.
No, exactly. I've already got an idea,
Cool.
of ways we can play with that and do different things. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple options that it could go. There's a couple other options too. But I like the fact that can add mystery and just a little bit of something like, the family's not there, and you're raised in this corporation. But
right on. There is one more thing.
Uh-huh.
I was watching your podcast earlier this week about the gangs, and I couldn't believe it when you said that there was a gang of cowboys. It seems like there's still a cult following for cowboys and old Western stuff. So that got my mind racing, and I thought, what if I have one of those like Texas business types, and he's got a southern twang and everything. He says stuff like, yeah, that's more chrome than a Neo-Texas nickel, I tell you what.
Yeah, go for it. That's fine.
I love that, actually.
I've been thinking about it all week, and I'm just like, how do I pitch this? Are they going to hate me? How much are they going to put up with?
No, and I just opened up your avatar too, so people streaming, they can kind of see what at least a rough idea of what the character looks like. And we do have an artist that was on the podcast the other day when we did that gang episode, actually, I think it was. And he's going to be getting descriptions from all of us and probably sketching out everybody's character. But
that would be amazing.
Yeah, but at least for now, you guys picked out something close to at least get the vibe there, and that's what I just opened now on Roll20 so people can see. But no, I love that fact. The only thing is, like, okay, you're raised in this corp in Night City or whatever. Maybe the accent just comes from being an old Western film aficionado or something. Like you really loved it growing up or something. I don't know. You got to find some type of way that would kind of rock. That would kind of like make sense.
Well, that would be easy. It would just be like an old Texas boys club. Everybody there, they know each other through the fraternities and the boys clubs from back
like Skull and Bones.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Skull and Bones style. That's pretty cool.
It's just the culture of the corporation. I don't think it'd be too far fetched.
That's fine. You can do that. And
it's gonna be great.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at these corporations because one thing I wanted to do, and I did this with Team Nameless as well, is kind of pull from the Talsorian Games blog post when they posted about the Neocorps of Red. Obviously, we've got the core rules and all that, but it doesn't have a lot of the lore expansion in what we have. We just have the pre-advanced core rules so we can play and stuff. But I was pulling from that list. There's only a few there, but one option comes to mind that kind of fits that vibe too, and that could be Continental Brands. And this is subject to change because I want to do a little more research, and I'm also open to people in the chat suggesting things. But as far as the Neocorps, and I just opened it in Roll20. I don't know if you can see it if I have it set, but it's Continental Brands. Distracted by the aftermath of the Fourth Corporate War, the higher-ups at Petrochem didn't pay attention as their subsidiary, Continental AgriCorp, took steps to divorce itself from the Energy Megacorp. Continental made their move, forcing a spin-off of the subsidiary and buying out half of Petrochem's Chew 4U gas stations. Continental Brands was born. And then there's a little bit behind them too. Continental rebranded their Chew 4U stations as Oasis stores and quickly rebuilt them into one of the few reliable places to buy food. All Continental brand products, of course. Continental's Oasis Community Loyalty Program rewards entire communities for being loyal customers by granting them prioritized food shipments and cheaper mega-sized goods, and pushes them with higher prices and scarcity for acting against Continental interests. So, it obviously like hooks up some and punishes others based on, the loyalty program. But I think that's kind of a cool brand. and their origin point is Texas, so that kind of fits perfect. Yeah, so the face is Olivia Forsythe, aka the Kibble Queen, and like I said, they're from Texas, but we'll say they're just sprouting up. Neocorp, they're obviously branching out because of their Oasis stores and stuff, but they have that spot in Night City, and that's where you're at, helping the corporation there. And being the level that you're at, obviously you're not running the corporation or anything like that. You're one of the execs that works for the company. And we can circle back around and figure out more details on how all of this can work as we, get through all the characters, and then we can decide how they know each other.
I just love all I'm picturing is the CEO of that being, darling, I did not become the Kibble Queen just by being nice and playing good.
Well, what I like, exactly, and what I like too is it opens up, some defined option if I do go with another corp that took out his family or something to that effect. Like maybe there's some type of saving from these orphaned children or people from corporations fucked by Petrochem since the subsidiaries there. Like there's definitely some enemy corp thing going on there that can be played in one way or another. But like I said, I already have a couple ideas when you were talking about being a kid that was taken that I already think I'm going to work in, but we'll see what happens. But before we get too deep on that, let's move on to Mickey. Tell us about Viking. Obviously the solo is look, go through the Lifepath stuff, and then we'll get into figuring out how everybody knows each other and where we're at currently in Red and stuff. But tell us about Viking.
So Viking is an interesting guy. His real name is Waylon Bjornulf. He is a first-generation native to America in his family. He grew up with actually corporate exec parents, like rich of the rich. He went to private school, like everything provided for him. Safety by all means was the thing. He grew up on one of the floating islands off the coast. His parents were brought in as execs to this corporation to try and bring that Netherlands feel to the corporation. I haven't figured out which one yet. That great IKEA business sense kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in his high school years, his family was actually betrayed by the corporation, and they were ousted and sent to live in what was then the shell of Night City after the explosion. So basically left to fend for themselves with nary a penny to their name. And he grew up, really hearing about his roots and hearing the Norse folk tales and about the gods and everything like that. His family practiced old ways. It's a little bit of a self-insert for myself, with my particular practices and my, Heather and I's practices. But, that betrayal kind of sparked something in him that he realized, especially, having to spend more of his formative years essentially not on the streets, but, in like the shittiest neighborhoods of shitty neighborhoods, that, it's not so much you have to survive the people around you. It's that everyone around you has to survive the oppression.
Right. No,
and
desperate fucked up time,
Yeah. So he actually, took the time. Being in private school, you learn some weird things, fencing or martial arts or whatever. And he had started down that particular path with martial arts and everything and weapon usage. And he parlayed it into now working towards being like almost a folk hero for the people to fight against the corpse while seeking out vengeance for his family. I'm playing it that he has a rep, but not like a true rep score. No one knows him outside of the like one block that he lives on, the like 5 houses on each side. So maybe 10 families know him, but he's working. His big goal is to be, the hero of the people and take down what he refers to as the false monarchy of the corporate regime. So, he's full Viking attire. Like, you think Berserker, and this guy is it,
Berserker.
Nice. Yeah, and I opened up the image, too, so people can see the picture that you found that at least represents him for now. That's cool. Very Viking-like.
So that, yeah. As far as, like, his look and everything goes, he tries to festoon himself in It's just generic chic, but it's, got the, like you see in the picture, it's got that very Norse feel, lights in play that might be like shaped like runes across a necklace or different pieces like that. As far as cyberware goes, I actually went kind of conservative. I didn't give him any cyber limbs or anything. His only cybers are he has a chipware socket, he has a neural link, and I forgot what the thing on the neural link that he has, but it's the one that allows you to, work smart guns and vehicles and everything with your mind.
Yeah. The interface plugs.
That's it, the interface plugs. So I went kind of conservative there. I focused more on the fact that, he carries, I believe, a very heavy pistol that I gave him. And then his main, me, I love my melee weapons. I can't get away from that. So he actually rocks like a futuristic Viking axe.
Oh, that's cool.
It's not like the full on like double-headed battle axe, like two-hander, but he's rocking the bigger hand axes that they had. So it falls in the 3d6 2 ROF area.
Yeah. No, I know. And just so you know, in the chat, we had a couple of things kind of come in. I just want to catch up, and then we'll continue on with that. Not to interrupt, but I want to catch up with people watching. But he was saying the corporation, back to Valentine, the corporation could have originated from an independent archaeology or archaeology. It could even be a subsidiary of Continental Foods, which is kind of cool too, branching out. But I do kind of want to keep it within that because I have an idea with Oasis, but a subsidiary could come into play from branching out. But the other thing too that we have here is commenting on to Hero Hobo.
Sorry, you cut out what?
Oh, damn it! It was cutting out on yesterday's stream as well. Might be having problems, but no, he was typing in as far as 1UP and now going to Viking that you went from murder hobo to hero hobo.
I love it, but I'll be right out there. I mean, he is a Viking. If someone crosses him, that murder hobo is going to come out. But at least it's going to be for honor. It's going to be for honor this time.
Yeah. No, he's a solo. He's going to kick ass, but he's got he's got just a more heart of gold mission behind it. It sounds like I don't know. He's like for the people more instead of just for the streaming views. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. It's not for the hell of it. It's for a reason.
Yeah, because 1UP was doing it because he was a streamer, and like as a solo, he was like a living fucking video game for people to watch, like really killing. So he was just hyped on the stream. But this sounds more honorable of a solo, I guess, if you will. Now.
Yep.
Okay, did we cover everything with the Lifepath? Was there more that you needed to go over?
I just wanted to get into the solo personal path. That was all his basic stuff. Yeah. As far as like the role specific stuff. Oh, sorry, I missed one thing.
Oh, and real quick,
in the general.
Alex, I saw you typed in for the band name Brass Monkeys. I like that. And they do nothing but play an entire set of covering the song Brass Monkey from way the fuck back in the day, and it's just like the whole set is that song over and over again. It's fucked up. But no, okay, go on. Sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. Yeah, we got to keep up with the chat, keep people involved.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just Alex.
I know this is our own Alex.
The thing I forgot, right? I rolled the friends and enemies and lovers thing. I have 3 friends that I rolled because I rolled a 10 on that as well.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I got one that's like an old.
That kind of makes sense if he's got that for the people honorable solo sort of vibe. That he would have some friends and stuff. He's a little different,
Yeah. One of them is like an older sibling to me, and one's like a younger sibling because you roll out what they're like. And then the third one was just someone I know from the street. So I thought it actually worked really well with that folk hero kind of thing. It's like, these are the 2 kids I grew up with on my block, and then this is this guy that I do jobs with every once in a while or something. So I rolled only 1 lover, and it was a tragic love affair as they are. And that lover was imprisoned or exiled, and it actually ties into my enemy, who is an estranged relative, and we were romantic rivals, but I won out. So essentially, me and I guess a cousin twice removed or something, we're going for the same person, and I happen to be the one that got them, but now they're just pissed and found a way to like falsely imprison or exile the lover to get back at me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
cool.
I don't know. It was nice because it kind of like weirdly worked together with the enemy and lover thing.
Yeah. No, exactly. That ties it together and takes care of itself, you know?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so as far as my role-based stuff, I already talked about I rolled what kind of solo am I? Local vigilante for hire, so, folk hero. But my operational territory is the corporate zone, so it works there because I'm going after the fucking false regime. And someone that's gunning for me actually could work as a tie to the other team, because for who's gunning for me, a rival solo from a corp. And I know Val's character is a solo that's like beholden to a corporation.
Right. Yeah.
So,
we can tie that together and then just see if you or Raven kill each other one day.
It'd be an interesting like tete-a-tete, I think.
Yeah, and the other thing I was thinking too, when you were going over like family stuff, because here's one thing is like Eddie and Viking are both very anti-establishment, anti-corp, very punk rock in their mentality, even though completely different styles of roles and people, whatever. Valentine being so fucking born into the corp, brainwashed to like corp. Kind of weird there. So what I was thinking is one way to tie that in, and I didn't want to do this initially. I had another idea and plan, but now hearing this, it's like, fuck, maybe he could be, your older brother somehow or family, and that's how you guys actually get along, even though he's an exec or something. His family was taken when he was younger, but maybe we figure that out somehow. I don't know. But I'm willing to talk about ideas. We got to figure out at least, before we get into how you work together and all the details of it, we need to at least knock out the fact that you guys are all anti-exec and he's fucking all about it.
Well, I was thinking about that, I think like yesterday or the day before I was talking with Heather about just bouncing ideas to try and figure out my character. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna probably start the game like kind of distrustful, and like we're working together because I'm getting paid to do this, but doesn't mean I have to fucking like you. That typical trope that you see in like some buddy group things where it's rivalry and then eventually they become friends.
Yeah. Somehow like you've got to be beyond just work partners with Valentine for this to work. But what I was thinking is maybe since your corporate zone solo, that's your kind of work area, maybe you were hired by the same corp that Valentine is working for, the Continental Brands or something to that effect, at the same time that they moved into the established their Night City branch. He's one of the execs theirs, and you're hired to do solo shit for this new this NeoCorp that's establishing in Night City and setting out these oases.
I mean, it's an interesting idea. Like, my character's not going to take a lot of jobs from corporations. Like, it's completely against them.
Right.
But a different view on that. Still keep the idea of I know him from their company coming in and they're establishing or whatever. But he's constantly scoping out the corps to get an idea of who he can like play against each other, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that he saw Valentine as like a target that he could exploit to try and pit this new corporation. So it's that I know you for rivalry business reasons, but eventually organically we'll become friends over the course of the game.
Enemy kind of thing.
Yeah.
What was that?
Enemy of my enemy kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But let's see, and in the chat too, I like this idea because I was just going to suggest something similar about taking it down from the inside, but obviously working together temporarily as he's like, kind of like a foster family, and take down the corp from the inside. So it could be something along those lines as well, as where maybe you're hired and working with Valentine, as a solo for the corp, and you're doing it, but to you it's obviously just a paycheck. You have to survive, and you're working in the corp zone. You know what I mean? So you're either hired by independents to try to attack corps and stuff, which you would love to do, but usually when that's happening, it's from another corp anyways. So like no matter what, you're gonna have to deal with the fact that corps are running everything. You're gonna be hired by corps and stuff. So somehow
that's the thing, though. They are and they aren't, though.
That. You know what I mean?
But I mean, not necessarily, though, because like reading the lore on the book and looking at what they're developing is that there are still outside players. Like it could be drug enterprises. It can be the neighborhood gets money together or whatever. I'm not necessarily in it for big paychecks. I'm in it for the people. So working with a corp is just so against what this character is that I don't think he would take a contract specifically from a corporation. Now, like if a corporation goes through a back channel and it's a gang that approaches me, that's a different story because like how he's not smart enough to be, he's not a hacker, he's not going to trace it back. But a direct contract from a corp is something he would like outright refuse more than likely.
Yeah. Well, then again, I'm open to suggestions. You got to remember one of your players is an exec, so you got to make it work somehow.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like
Viking does the dirty work for Valentine to gain prestige in his corp to get their dirty secrets to take down.
Yeah, and I mean that's what I'm saying. Like I want to find a way to utilize their what should be relationship, but it doesn't necessarily have to be on the corp's terms. It could be on
Well, don't forget
the other
Valentine,
side.
Valentine was born in the fucking corp. You know, his whole background is like he doesn't have a social life out of it. You know what I mean? He's in the boys club. He's in the corporation. I don't,
Sure, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
and what about Eddie? Maybe there's something there that can tie it together. Did you have any ideas, Heather, for Eddie with all that?
The whole thing with like talking with Mickey about how both of our characters, like you said, are sort of anti-establishment and anti-corp, like being the fact that he runs in, similar circles and that,
He got bumped.
I think we lost.
Okay. She's coming back.
I think the video is shifting here again. Hold on one second. And we're back.
Sorry.
No problem. I was having so many problems in yesterday's stream with Team Nameless, with cutouts and stuff, but we'll get through it. No sweat. But go on. What were you saying?
I don't know what the last thing that it heard, but basically Eddie plays at like dive bars and merc bars and things like that, and those are places that Viking would frequent. And they have a similar mentality. Like it's very possible that Eddie's in is actually through Viking because they run in similar circles. He's sort of made a name for himself and like, I want to bash corpse brains in. Like that's his whole thing. Like he's very vocal about that.
I can totally see the connection between Eddie and Viking. What I'm saying is, during all of that, did you think of a way to tie Eddie to Valentine that maybe we could use to pull Viking in, since we're having a hard time pulling Viking in a way that makes good sense,
My thought there is very similar to like kind of like what Mickey was talking about, where if you think about Valentine, from what I gather, he is, I will do anything to get to the top, right?
Sure.
Which could even be like, I'm going to reach out to this local gang to fuck up like my competition, or even to fuck up another guy that I work with that has a higher position than me and I want him.
How about a combination of some of that and what was suggested in chat and this? How about, since we can't make it family and stuff, Valentine's family was gone, and like I said, I have some ideas with that, and that's its own thing that could build up whatever. Maybe it is a type of thing where Valentine's born in the corp. He's so fucking exact, all about the corporation, that on the side, without the corp knowing, even though the corp might do some shady stuff on their own, on the side, you hire this team, and they know each other because they're so anti-corp, and you hire them to go with you to do black op missions against other corps your corporation is against, and the only reason Eddie and Viking accept it, knowing that it benefits you at your corp, which they don't care about, they don't like that, but at least it allows them to go and attack other corps and stuff and take them down. You know what I mean? And there's a little bit of tension there possibly, but at least for now you guys trust and work together because like y'all get paid, because Valentine can write it off, I guess, from the corporation, push the limits too much because it'll get noticed and fucked with. Maybe there's something along that line, or maybe the corporation does. Maybe it does get greenlit by the corporation since they do some shady stuff, and they tell Valentine, look, you can do stuff like that, just do it off the fucking books. We'll write you this, slide you this little untraceable cred chip or whatever, go get the job done. But if something happens, we don't know you. You did it on your own, sort of thing. Maybe it's something like that. But I think maybe that's something we could do. Something
Yeah,
there.
That would work.
I can speak from a character perspective. That sounds way more better than like the corporation as a whole coming to him. Like
Yeah,
he's down to go with an executive.
Instead of hiring him, you know what I mean? It's more of like an independent
Yeah.
Valentine thing, and it gives Valentine a little bit of depth in the sense that he's not just a fucking mindless worker drone. You know, he has his own aspirations to say, well, fuck, man, I'm gonna go try to fuck up these other corporations to earn brownie points with my corporation, and who knows, maybe even one day I'll fuck up my own corp to rise up the ranks. Like, is he a bit cutthroat? Is Valentine a bit cutthroat, or is he super loyal and just like that to other corps? Alex, how do you
Well, I have
picture
been
him?
thinking about that a lot.
Because it's like, man, he's born in the corporation. I could see it either way. Like, he's either super fucking loyal, and he's like, you know, the owner of the company loves you like a child, like she does to the other thousands of other children that they have, you know, or whatever, that they've raised in the company over the years. Maybe there's something there, and you're like fully loyal, you know, and you fuck up other corps with these little things that you're allowed to go do, and you get the paycheck to do. Or you're so in it, you know, you're almost like you'd fuck them up to rise up the ranks. You know what I mean? Like, you're not just fucking up other ones to earn brownie points and get the paycheck with this, but you're also like, well, fuck, man, you know? I'm so obsessed with being an exec, like, I could do it to my own just to rise up and get more powerful. Is he like that?
Let's say he has to be 100% loyal to the company, or at least to the
I like
Kibble
that.
Queen.
I honestly like that a little bit more. I like that. That's kind of cool. And that also, just not to interrupt, hold your thought because I want to hear more if you have more ideas with that. But it also kind of plays into like Valentine as a person, maybe getting along a little bit or at least relating a little bit with Viking in the sense that they both have like, I don't know, like a wholesome sort of loyalty. Like they actually have a little bit of moral code in this fucked up world. Even if it doesn't align, they both at least know that they have some type of standards in their lives. You know what I mean? And not a lot of people fucking do in Cyberpunk, especially during the Red, you know?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Which when I originally wanted to be a corp, I wanted him to be like completely ruthless, 100% evil, treating everyone like dirt, because that's just fitting for Cyberpunk. But if we can reel that in without it not being, you know, against the aesthetic of Cyberpunk, I'm into that.
Yeah, no, I love all that. And then Cyber Smiley just typed in, and I love that guy. If you don't check him out on Instagram, you should. He's got all the cool-ass Battletech stuff. I used to play that back in the day when I was doing Cyberpunk. Back in the day, I still have my original Battletech stuff. But he typed in there, he's like, does Eddie have a sister, maybe? I know we rolled all zeros, but maybe there's something there. Like, she could have been the ex-lover of Valentine who disappeared by a corpo. That's kind of a cool twist, too.
Maybe.
Cool. And you know what I like about that is maybe there's something to that. Like maybe I'll make a mental note and I'll wait till everyone forgets and bring some sort of sister you didn't know about in the past that we find out Valentine was dating. Or maybe there's some twist there. I really like that. That's really cool and good thinking there, Smiley. I like that. but I do like where we're kind of at with the Valentine approved by the corp. He's super loyal. You know what I mean? Like to go and do these sort of Black Op missions and things for the corporate, off the books, so to speak, but still paid. And that's how he's been able to align with Eddie and Viking. He had to find somebody that is so anti-corp. He had to go and do fucked up shit like that, you know?
Yeah, if you think about it. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, if you think about it, if corporations have their hands in everybody's pocket, it would actually be really hard to find somebody that will work alongside one corporation and fuck up another unless you're going to pay them an exorbitant amount. But if you find some street rat in the dive bar and they just hate corporations, you could be like, I'm just going to throw you some creds. And they'd be like, fuck yeah, I just want to bash some corp brains in.
Exactly, yeah. No, I love it.
I think it'd be a fun twist or, you know, character development moment if like the whole time Eddie and I are working with this guy, thinking he's off on his own because he's hidden that the corporation's greenlit it. Like we find out, and we're like, "What the fuck, man? You're just another face of the corporation. We're stuck as cogs now." Like just good character development, like party interaction kind of shit, you know?
Yeah. And by the way, I just brought up the image for Eddie Brass. I forgot to pull that up earlier of that image you found. I love it. He's very.
Oh, I drew that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, I based it off of an artist called Not Musa, so if you find them, they're really good, but yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I love it. With the especially the bloody baseball bat. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be his weapon of choice. That and he's got Wolvers.
Oh, awesome. Hell yeah.
Because I can't not have the Wolvers.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that too. but yeah, I love it. I think we've got a way to tie it in. We've got the corporation, which is kind of cool. And it's one of the Neo Corps that Talsorian put out, so that's kind of cool. Like both teams, like I said, I ran Zero yesterday for Team Nameless and implemented some of the Neo Corps, and now we were able to do that with Team Spicy. So like, I just love the fact that we're diving into actual red rules, the red life path. We're going to involve Neocorps. I'm going to keep digging as much as I can to implement more and more stuff from Red aside from rules, as much lore as I can get my hands on and aesthetics, to kind of beef this up. And I've also got for the Cyberpunk Uncensored podcast, I'm doing an episode this weekend with Jay Gray. Red stuff we're going to be talking about and going over. So hopefully we'll get some more cool information. But I think that's pretty much it. I think we've wrapped it up. Like I said, we're going to be doing this be adult content, and guys are blood red, and so is the style of play. Not to say it's all going to be murder hobo style. You know what I mean? It's definitely a lot of role playing, but it's even more brutal than it was before. It's post nuclear fallout, and shit is grimy and desperate, and neocorps are cutthroat, and shit is just. It's developing, so it's even more unstable and more crazy. So it's going to be fun. Anybody watching, make sure you like the video, share the video. Please subscribe to Mulligan Live on YouTube. Tune in to Cyberpunk Uncensored, the podcast. Join the group on Facebook, Cyberpunk.
We can't hear you, Rob.
Oh, I was going to say, try to give us some love online. Follow the Cyberpunk Uncensored Instagram account, follow the YouTube Mulligan Live account. We're just trying to expand the Cyberpunk community, so we'd really appreciate the support. Anybody watching, I think that's pretty much it. I think we've knocked out Session 0, the life path for Team Spicy. Anything else you guys can think of that we didn't cover or go over?
I forgot to mention, my character's got chem skin, chem hair, shift tax. All that stuff.
I love that.
I was initially doing it for a different reason, but it's basically just all of his stuff reacts to essentially battle mode kind of thing. He goes berserker and he kind of gets a little more wild out, a little more red, eyes kind of glow.
Oh yeah, no, I love that. I love the chem skin and shift tax and tech hair, all that sort of stuff. So you can completely change your look. It's very fucking ninja assassin style, And from the chat here, we've got some more people kind of chiming in. I just wanted to cover some things, but instead of a sister, maybe a clone. So see, that's kind of some cool depth that can come into play in the future.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, and then
Trippy.
and then Team Nameless, they're corp freelancers, and Val is playing Raven. She's actually corp property. She sold her soul to the corp to get some extra money to do what she needed to do, but she had a desperate childhood and situation to kind of have to deal with. And anyone watching, you can watch that Session 0 on the same YouTube channel. Just look for Team Nameless, and this is Team Spicy. And that's how, as we go, Session 1, Session 2, 3, whatever, as it goes on, you can follow both teams and follow the stories. And sometimes they're definitely going to intermix. It's in the same world, so that's kind of fun too. So watch both of them if you can. It says solos on both these teams love to get all flashy during battle, and that's true, because like Raven on Team Nameless is like that, chem skin, shift tax, tech hair. She has all the weapons. She's definitely a character. She's like a female Punisher, if you will.
Hey, you know what it is? It's substance over
exact style.
Substance with violence. Yeah, substance
style over
or other way around. So
no, I
gotta instill that fear, man.
Exactly. Oh, other thing I wanted to mention.
Over all my stuff.
Other thing I wanted to mention was, in the other Session 0, I wore my Militech shirt. Today's my Arasaka shirt, because I don't play favorites. I like Militech and Arasaka for different reasons. So I'm not on either team when it comes to those two corps. But and I also want to give a shout out to Cyberfight Clothing, our sponsor. We'll be rocking more stuff there, and we'll be putting it to check out. But yeah, I think we got it, guys. And we'll be doing Session 1 next week, officially jumping into Red. Are we going to be good? Do we know what day yet? Are we going to be able to do next Wednesday?
Just so we can. I'm gonna have to talk to you. I'm gonna have to talk to you a bit.
Okay. We'll figure it
Because
out.
I know your other team streams on Tuesday, and Tuesday is like my only day off next week.
Yeah, but I do think that Team Nameless can move a little bit. They can do Tuesdays or Wednesdays. So I'll find that out. We'll work out it in chat. It'd be awesome if we can keep
Sure.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays as our streaming days, anyways. At least for now, as much as we can. So if we can shift that, that'd be cool. And then that way
Yeah.
everyone can kind of count on it every Tuesday, Wednesday, 6 p.m. You know, Mulligan Live on YouTube or Cyberpunk Uncensored, the group on Facebook. And we're on Twitch and you know, Periscope and a bunch of other streaming platforms too. But we like to push the YouTube one and our Facebook group. But awesome. I think we're good to go. Thanks so much. I'm so excited to get back into playing and to dive into Red. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Please show us some love. Take care.
Later.